In this video, let's explore GitHub Marketplace for agents. Now, if you navigate to the URL github.com/marketplace, you will be presented with a screen whereby you can see the various copilots, models, apps, action component. Now, I'll specifically focus on the model component. So here, what you can do is like in this website, you can search for the tools from community and partners to simplify tasks and automate processes. So on the left hand side, you get an option to view various Copilot extensions. So you can extend the Copilot capabilities using third party tools, services, and data. Now you have whole bunch of Copilot extensions. So there is a Copilot extension like GitHub for GitHub Copilot, README API, Octopus for GitHub Copilot, Launch Darkly for GitHub Copilot. Then you have Poly API. Then you have a JFrog for GitHub Copilot. So there's a whole bunch of application related to Git versioning, security, code suggestions, documentation, migration, looking for documentation and coding assistance for a specific technology. Now that's about Copilot extension. Then we have models. So there's a model catalog and there's a model playground. I'll come to that, but let's go into the apps. So we have all the different apps like AI assisted apps. So tools that are super powered with AI to help you with a better development experience. So there are a whole bunch of apps like say Microsoft 365 Agents Toolkit. Now here we can chat with GitHub Copilot extension for M365 Agent Toolkit to build app and agents for M365. You have something related to the deployment. You have something related to code review, code quality. So there's a whole bunch of app in the marketplace. Now this specific video, I'll be focusing on the models. Now, say, take for example, if you want to test out various artificial intelligence model or the large language model, and you don't want to spend much money on it, you can navigate to github.com marketplace, and then there you can try and test some models that are available within the marketplace. Now, if I go into the catalog, here you will see whole bunch of models. Now this model, so if you see here, it says create application with GitHub powered by AI model. It is free to use, quick personal setup and seamless model switching to help you build AI product using the latest model. Now this is in a preview state. So as you see, I can see various models listed. So recently added DeepSeek, Grok from XAI, Grok 3 from XAI, and from here you can see all the different models that are available. Now there's quite a few. So if I go to publishers over here, I have an option to select the publisher. So if I want to see AI21 Labs, I can see there are a couple of models from AI21 Labs. Then if I want to search for the model from Microsoft, so Microsoft has 5.4 reasoning, 5.4, 5.3.5 MOE instruct, and I can see whole bunch of models over here. Now if you want to see what this model is, you can go ahead and click on this model. So I'll click on this model, 5.4 reasoning, and then it will give me all the information related to that model. So FIFO reasoning is a state of the art open weight reasoning model fine tuned from FIFO using supervised fine tuning on a data set of chain of thought traces and reinforcement learning. So I can get to see the description, I can see the evaluation details, the transparency part, and also what kind of license it is. So this is specifically Microsoft MIT based license. Now, when is the training data done? April 2025. So this is quite latest. And what is the context? So 33K input and 4K output. So this is the token value which this particular model may consume. So that's the concept. Now here you can type a message. You can just type in, can you explain the basics of machine learning? And then it will open this particular model, and then it will start thinking. So as you see, it is thinking through the question like, can you explain the basics of machine learning? And then it starts providing those information back to you. And then as you see over here, it starts giving you some information. Now let me go back. So let me go back. Yeah. So let me go back to the github.com marketplace again. So we'll go and look into different models. So I got a catalog over here. Now from here, the catalog, I can select different publisher, but then I have an option to see the capability as well. So if it's a chat completion or an embedding model, different categories, like if I just want to see multilingual model or multimodal model or instruction model or reasoning or summarization. So let's look into the reasoning model. So if I click on reasoning, it will start me giving me the information about all the reasoning model, and I can sort by recently added, output token limit, input token limit, etc. And from a popularity as well. So from a popularity perspective, DeepSeek R1 is like the popular model. So let me go into DeepSeek R1. Now in DeepSeek R1, again, you can go ahead and see the information. What does that model do? What is the usage recommendation for that specific model? And it will give you some guidance as well. It says avoid adding a system prompt. All instructions should be contained within the user prompt. For mathematical problem, it is advisable to include a directive in your prompts, such as please reason step by step and put your final answer. So this is how you basically do that prompt management for your agent. Now here it will show you free rate limit tier. Now yes, it is free, but then you will be bounded with some condition, and those conditions you can have a look into within that individual model. So you cannot use that model endlessly, so there is a rate limit on that, and you will be able to only type in, like, say 15 prompt, or maybe some model will allow you to just utilize some set of tokens, and you cannot use it endlessly. So these are the different limitations which we get, but you get an option to try out different models. So let's pick out, say, one of the models. So let me go ahead and pick up Microsoft model. So if I go to, say, 5.4, so I pick up this model and I can read about this model. Now I have an option to view this model in a playground. Okay, now you can also navigate to playground from here. So let me show over here. So there is a playground over here. So in playground, you can connect to a model, and then you can type in various queries, and you can even compare different models. So let's go ahead and work on some models. So if I pick up, say, select a model, I'll go pick up OpenAI GPT 4.1. Now here, it will give you information about GPT 4.1. When was the training data? So this training data is May 2024. So if I ask OpenAI ChatGPT, what are the new features in Power Pages? As this model is trained May 2024, it will give you the information. As you see, as of mid 2024, Microsoft Power Pages has continued to rapidly evolve. It has given AI powered site building and whole bunch of information. Now, if I want to compare the response with a different model, I will go ahead and say I will compare this with, say, maybe a DeepSeek model. So DeepSeek 0528. And now here I can ask the same question: what are the new features in Power Pages? And you will get a completely different response from a reasoning model. Now as you see over here, we got a response like, at first it will start thinking, it will say we are looking for the new feature in Power Pages, then it will start looking, and then it will start providing the reasons as well, and then finally it will give you some of the new features. Now as you see, this and this is completely different because the model training date is different for different models. That is one. And second, now some models are specific for some activity, like, say, reasoning models are basically useful when you want to reason out why that particular response has been provided by the AI agent. So those kind of things we can compare. So on the left hand side, I have OpenAI GPT. On the right hand side, I have DeepSeek model. Now here you can see an important information. It says input 750, 750, output 498. So that's about the input tokens, and it took around 4.9 seconds to give out that information. Now you can even compare the most recent message, 750, total 750. This is the limit, this is the output token, this is the latency, and here the latency is 18174. As quite evident, it's a reasoning model, it needs more time to think, so that it gives you more precise response step by step. So you can compare all those things. Now Playground has a free rate limit, so you can go ahead and check the free rate limit which are available for the GitHub. Now here you can see the rate limits for prototyping with the AI model is basically, if you are in the rate limit low, then you get uh, request per minute as 15 for Copilot Pro. If you have Copilot Pro license along with it, then you get 15, business 15, and if you have enterprise, you get 20. But for testing purpose, this is more than enough. So I would recommend, highly recommend you guys to go ahead and play around with the different models over there. So this is the low rating, this is the high one, and then this is for embedding. So these are the different way of segregation on the rate limiting. So let me go back and then see this. What are the different things you can see? You can compare two different models. You can view the chat, and also before you even start asking question to the model, configure the parameter. So here you get an option to configure the parameter. Not all the parameters would be same for all the models. Now for OpenAI GPT, it will, depending on the model and depending on the configuration, it will allow you to type in the system prompt. It will allow you to configure the response format, configure the max completion token, set the temperature, the top P, which controls the text diversity by selecting the most probable words, and when do you want to stop the response. Frequency penalty and presence penalty can be configured for Model AI, OpenAI GPT. Now, for DeepSeek, if you compare here, you don't get much option. So here you have an option to just configure the max token and force cutting the output when the string occurs. Now you can compare other models as well. So if I select say Microsoft 5, so if I just type in 5.4, and now if I select 5.4, you get multiple other options. So now you get max tokens, temperature, top P, presence, frequency, penalty, stop. So because this model is quite comparable, and you can even compare that, oh, this training date is June 2024, this training date is May 2024. So depending on various parameter, the context, and how the input and output tokens are consumed, you can pick and choose whatever model is best for you, and then try putting those information in the prompt and start comparing the response from different model. So that's it, folks. This is all about the GitHub marketplace models that are available for you to test. Thanks for watching.